If you don't create opportunities for yourself, then the opportunities that are created for you will be taken away. And it's that simple, guys. And it may not seem fair that you've been working ridiculously hard over the last few months or even longer to pass your challenges or even get funded. But the truth is, life is not fair. You chose a life that you wanted to be in control of rather than rely on someone else to maintain it. And these are the realities of it. The realities may be harsh, and at times they may affect your finances or even your lifestyle and leave you wondering, what shall I do next? And this is why I cannot stress the importance enough of really being intentional about your growth as individuals, because when something like this happens, traumatic as it can be, you don't lose yourself too much in the emotions of what is happening, because you know that you acquire the skill set and the knowledge to go back and build it again. And that, my friends, is priceless. You have to create your own path to create true lasting success. And the only skill set that you truly own is the knowledge and the wisdom you develop through sheer graft and determination. Only that can create the freedom and capabilities to ensure that if something like this happens, you're prepared for it better. Just look at the pandemic. Most of us, if not all of us, have never encountered anything like that in our lives. And the 2 years that have passed has us all thinking about how we could have used that time more productively. Now is not the time to shell up and talk about how unfair it is, because life doesn't care about how you feel. You got to do something about it, and you got to continue to plow forward. And this is your sign that it is much better to do this on your own than rely on someone else to provide it for you. And I don't want to talk on the topic of which prop firm is going to close down, because the truth of the matter is you should always be prepared for the worst case scenario. This is a sign that nothing lasts forever unless you are prepared to make something that lasts as long as you are prepared to work for it. And there's a saying that says, what the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls a butterfly. Note the perspective on this. The caterpillar sees this metamorphosis as a kind of death or the end, because it evolves a radical change from its previous state. And this is similar to how humans often fear change, seeing it as an end or a loss. However, from a broader perspective, this transformation is recognized as a beautiful rebirth into a new form. So no matter how dire the situation might seem, there is always potential for rebirth and beauty. The caterpillar's transformation into a butterfly serves as a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is hope for a brighter, more beautiful future. And just as the caterpillar might not realize its potential to become a butterfly, we too might not recognize our potential to grow, evolve, and transform, especially during these times when things come at you the way they have. This isn't the first time something like this has happened, guys, and it won't be the last. And when a prop firm was shut down before, it was tough times for the majority of the industry. But look how you guys bounce back. And what you're going to have to do now is be prepared to make yet another shift. The pivot has to be different from what you was doing before, because it's not about who has shut down or who is being looked into. The question really is, who is next? And now with the warnings and the signs that you've seen, you need to ask yourself, how am I going to be better prepared for it if it happens again? What you've been doing up until now, up until this point, guys, is putting in 2 times the effort to achieve 2 times the gain. And this is a losing strategy. This is not something that is sustainable, because in the end, it catches up with you, because you are not achieving the rewards or the benefits that you desire. Instead, you're getting discouraged and exhausted by the repetitive actions that you're taking and the lack of results that you're accomplishing. So getting over these hurdles and obstacles you're encountering doesn't mean doing more. In fact, it means doing less is what's going to get you there. Why? Because up until now, you spent too much time on non-linear tasks that don't directly benefit your growth. So instead of focusing on straightforward actions that could yield tangible results, you've been spread too thin. Now, I'm sure most of you have heard of Michelangelo. Now, if anyone understood this best, it was him. When he was asked about his genius, specifically in regards to the statue of David, he said, "It is simple. I just remove everything that is not David." So going forward, guys, the plan of action now is to focus only on what is going to get you results and leave everything else behind. The time wasting, staring at your trades, FOMOing and revenge trading, jumping around the charts to different pairs and different strategies, micromanaging your trades, jumping around from strategy to strategy needs to be left behind. And those most specifically affected by what has happened now need to take this more seriously more than ever, because what you had built has now been taken away. And those who haven't yet seized the opportunity now need to look at it and say to themselves, what happens if I don't buckle down now and get my shit together? How much time do I really have? The craziest part about this advice is that you know that it's true, but yet you still do it. And then when shit hits the fan, you're like, oh, I wish I'd done what I knew I was supposed to do. Don't let it get to that stage, guys. For Michelangelo, it wasn't about how many sculptures or masterpieces he did. It was about the mind-blowing quality and attention to detail he put in on one thing and one thing only. What most of you are doing now is focusing on doubling down, which is, in theory, doing more of what you're already doing. Shifting from that, guys, is recognizing what you are doing is not working. And instead of doubling down, eliminating the riffraff and start getting intentional about what it is you recognize is working, because you really do not know how much time that you have. And even if you have plenty of time, why not seize the opportunity now? Your main focus right now and forever moving forward should be to gain freedom of time, freedom of money, freedom of relationships, and freedom of purpose. Anything else that is not contributing to those four things should be eliminated. And this freedom that I'm talking about is not a one-time thing that you achieve. It is an infinite game that the longer you play it, the more expansive it gets for you. And this freedom I'm talking about comes at a cost. It requires you to really dig deep and start eliminating the things around you that are distractions. It requires you to take a deep, long look into your actions and your behaviors and see what it is, see what is it that you're doing that is not serving your cause or your dreams of becoming a better version of yourself. Ryan Holiday said that if we didn't have ambition, a big goal that we're after, how would we know what little things, what distractions to say no to? Well, the question is, how do you do this? Well, the first thing is you need direction and clarity. As humans, when you have a clear ambition or goal, it provides direction for you. You can think of ambition as a compass. In the vast sea of life's opportunities and distractions, knowing where you're headed is crucial. Without a clear destination, every wind seems favorable. But with a destination in mind, it's easier to set a straight course. You then need to create a decision framework. Having a big goal in mind provides a framework for decision making. When faced with obstacles, we can ask ourselves, does this align with my ambition? Does it bring me closer to my goal? If the answer is no, it becomes easier to dismiss distractions or irrelevant opportunities. No matter how tempting, next you need to set priority settings. Without ambition, everything might seem equally important, but when you are striving toward a particular goal, it becomes clear which tasks are a priority and which ones can be set aside. Then comes resilience to temptations. Distractions are everywhere, guys, and many of them can be very tempting. Like now, the whole funded industry are injecting more money into marketing their discounts because they know individuals like you are desperate instead of you using rational thinking. So it is important to know when there's a bigger picture in mind, the immediate allure of these distractions lessen. For instance, if someone's ambition is to become a professional athlete, they might be less tempted by late night parties on healthy food because they understand the long-term implications of their goals. And then finally, sacrifice and focus. Achieving anything significant often requires sacrifice, period. Knowing our ambitions helps us understand and justify the sacrifices we might need to make along the way. Instead of feeling deprived when saying no to certain things, we feel empowered because we're choosing in favor of our bigger goal. So if you clarify your goals and focus on working on the things that will get you there, everything else will be significantly less important to the actions you take because you're clear on the path that you're going. So for you as traders, how important is it for you to sit at your charts after you take a trade? But it's not. How important is it for you to execute another trade after you lose because you're experiencing FOMO? Well, it's not. How important is it for you to backtest every day and over the weekend new strategies when you already have a strategy? But it's not. How important is it for you to be worrying about a prop firm company potentially shutting down when there are plenty others out there? It's not. You getting my point? It's not hard, guys. You just need to do. And right now, you just need to make that shift and find a new company and implement the right strategy that works. You're not starting over again as you might think because you've already built the skills to crush it. You just need to now adapt your way of thinking and use this to fuel you moving forward. Coming back from this is not as hard as it may seem, even though it may be daunting. But if you buckle down and start shifting today, your fear to fuel, in a short space of time, you can accomplish as much as, if not more, than you've already done. I believe in you. The question is, do you believe in you?